How does a plane, a massive Boeing 777, vanish into thin air in the age of satellites, radar, and global surveillance? How can 239 souls disappear without a single distress call, without a single confirmed eyewitness, without a trace? Tonight, we revisit the mysterious disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370, a case that has baffled experts, haunted families, and captivated the world for more than a decade. What really happened on that quiet night in March 2014? Was it an accident, a hijacking, or something far more sinister? It began as a routine flight. March 8th, 2014. Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 was scheduled to depart Kuala Lumpur International Airport just after midnight, heading to Beijing. On board were 239 people, families, business travelers, crew, people with plans, with lives, with destinations. The plane took off at 12:41 a.m. Everything seemed normal. For the next 38 minutes, all communications were standard. The weather was clear. The aircraft was stable. At 1:19 a.m., as the plane transitioned into Vietnamese airspace, air traffic control received the last message from the cockpit. "Good night, Malaysian 370. Those words would become hauntingly iconic. Seconds later, silence. The aircraft vanished from civilian radar. No emergency call, no mayday, no transponder. It was as if the plane had ceased to exist. In the early hours, confusion reigned. Perhaps it was a technical failure. Maybe they had landed somewhere remote. Maybe communications were down. But by sunrise, the truth became undeniable. Flight MH370 was missing. As panic spread, another revelation shook investigators. Military radar data showed that the aircraft had not disappeared suddenly. Instead, it had turned sharply, deviating from its intended path. It flew back across the Malaysian peninsula, then turned again to the south, continuing over the Andaman Sea and eventually deep into the southern Indian Ocean. This wasn't a crash. This was a flight path, deliberate, calculated, silent. For the families, the wait turned to anguish. Countries from around the world joined the search. Satellites scanned the oceans, planes flew endless missions, ships dragged sonar equipment across the sea floor. Over 120,000 square kilometers were searched. It became the largest and most expensive search in aviation history. But there was nothing. Weeks passed, months. Then, finally, something appeared. A piece of wreckage, a flaperon, washed ashore on Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean. It was confirmed to be from MH370. Later, more fragments would follow, found on distant coastlines of Mozambique and Madagascar. But no fuselage, no cockpit, no passengers, no black boxes. With no clear answers, theories began to take shape. The first centered on mechanical failure. Some experts suggested a sudden decompression or electrical fire may have disabled the crew. The plane could have flown on autopilot until it ran out of fuel. But this fails to explain the dramatic turns and changes in altitude captured by military radar. If it was a mechanical failure, why no attempt to communicate? Why veer so far off course? Another theory points to the man in command, Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. An experienced pilot with over 18,000 flight hours, investigators discovered that his home flight simulator contained data resembling the final suspected route of MH370. Could he have deliberately taken the plane into oblivion? Was it a suicide mission, a protest, or something else entirely? While some investigators believe it's the most plausible explanation, there is no conclusive proof, and his loved ones strongly deny the idea. Then came whispers of hijacking. Could terrorists have taken control of the plane? If so, why has no one claimed responsibility? No messages, no demands, no suspects. Others speculated about remote cyber interference, that the plane was hacked and taken over from afar. But again, no hard evidence. And perhaps most chilling of all, the theory that MH370 was accidentally shot down by a military force during a training exercise and then covered up. Such incidents have occurred in history, but this theory too remains speculation, unsupported by physical proof. 10 years have passed, and still, the core question remains unanswered. Where is MH370? Some believe the wreckage lies somewhere in the deep, cold trenches of the Indian Ocean, beyond the reach of even our most advanced technology. Others think the truth has been hidden, buried under layers of bureaucracy, geopolitics, or shame. But for the families of those on board, the pain has never faded. Many still live in limbo, trapped between grief and uncertainty. Every year, they gather to honor the lost and to remind the world this is not just a mystery, it is a human tragedy. The disappearance of MH370 shattered the illusion that modern aircraft are untraceable, that every moment in the sky is accounted for. It revealed a blind spot in our global systems and a dark hole where answers should be. And so the mystery lives on. The plane is gone, the passengers never came home, and the ocean remains silent. This was the story of MH370, the plane that vanished into silence. If you found this story compelling, we invite you to stay with us. This is the very first documentary on our channel, and we plan to explore many more mysteries, stories of lost flights, ancient civilizations, forgotten secrets, and unanswered questions from around the world. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, leaving a like, and sharing it with others who are drawn to the unknown. Together, let's search for truth, one mystery at a time.